Hey, welcome back to the lab. This is the first episode in refactoring GraphTool where we'll be making some changes to how we do background jobs. We are currently using a library called RiverQ, and RiverQ wants to handle the migrations on a separate schema from public. I want to bring everything back on public so that we can have an easier time running migrations, like how we run every other migration, how we build queries, and how we can easily manage the jobs through like a UI dashboard, something like that. So I just created a quick to-do here on what we will be doing today. So yeah, this is going to be a short one. So let's get into it. All right, so I wanted to add a Justfile command that lets us get the status of the migrations, like which one applied, which one still needs to get applied, right? So let's just create an alias here called migration status. While we edit, let's update this one to create migration. It's a little bit more, let's say, correct in the naming instead of making migration. So quickly update this one. And let me quickly add the migration, if I can spell, status, like so. And then we do this. And let me just check really quick that I did the right naming. I did. Yes, so if we open our floating terminal and say just ms, we get the current status, and we can see we have some applied and some not applied. It's not that important, but this is the first to do. If you're not familiar with Justfiles, it's literally make files, but with a modern take, and we get some syntax highlighting, we get some alias stuff. It's really nice to work with. Check it out if you haven't. Can highly recommend it. So let's get to the next step, which is removing the migration that creates the queue schema. And we have our migrations in here. This is the old one. So you can just delete that. And then if we say now, we have nothing to apply, but also let's just drop and create our database. So we can start from fresh, and we can see we have 2 pending. That's correct. Great. And next step, we want to add the queue migration, but let me quickly just introduce like RiverQ, and it's literally just running background jobs on using Postgres as the storage engine. It's great. It manages running them, it manages rerunning them, failing them. It does it very, very efficiently. If you haven't checked this out, it's really, really great. And they also deliver a CLI that we can use to get these migrations instead of just running them directly through the CLI. We can export them with the CLI, and we can then just run them ourselves as how we want to. So what we want to do is, first of all, let's just say let's create migration, and we need to say v1, 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 v2, v3, and v4. At the time of recording, they have 4 versions, so this is all we need. And if we check migrations now, we can see we have an up version and a down version, and we are using Goose for this. So now we just need to fill them out. Super straightforward, and we have this one here. And I've already been doing this once, as you can see, with my autocomplete, but we need to create the up version and the down version for each of the 4 versions. So let's start by creating downs. There we go. And now we just need to do this for up. Go, and if we just go up here, and we should have all the migrations we need. So let's split this up. Let's go into migrations and take the first one here. We need up one, down one. This is quite straightforward. So let me just quickly run through all of these. Alright, there we go. We now have filled out all the migrations from version 1 to version 4. Yes, we have the migrations, so let's just quickly check that they are working. We have in total 6 pending. If I run just up migrations, it works beautifully. Let's see if we can run them down to version 0. We can also do that. That's great. So let's apply it again. Everything works. Goose makes it super easy. So next step, we need to change the connection setup. If you check the example env file here, you can see that I have this like QUL because we need to add the search path, which we don't need to do anymore. So let me just get rid of that, and then in config we have database, and we have this one that we don't need anymore. So let's just delete that. And then we need to go into command. So in this setup we have a queue worker, and then we have the app in general, and the app wants to be able to insert jobs and then have the worker manage the jobs. So we need to update first of all this one, and because you already have an error, which is what we want to see. We don't need this one anymore. We need to use this connection, and we should have an error here where we just use the normal database connection. And now for app, we have the same thing. No longer need this one, and we can just use con, like so. And we are no longer using context as well. That's great. All right, change connection setup to queue. We have done that. Test if it works on the first database. We have also done that, but let's just check to be sure. That's true. I don't have that one in this setup. So which is the run? This is run worker. And we have the worker running. That's nice. Awesome. And they of course also have some graceful shutdowns, which is really great. Final thing we need to do is that to get rid of these ones. We don't need them anymore. And that's it. The next one is going to be a little bit more heavy on the code. This was just a quick starter one. So see you there. Thanks for tuning in.